You have mastered the art of being busy. You know how to run on 4 hours of sleep and call it productivity. You have optimized your morning routine, your calendar, your notifications. You have read the books. You have watched the videos. You know exactly how to work harder. But nobody taught you how to rest. And here is the problem. You are doing it wrong. And it is making everything worse. Because rest is not just the absence of work. It is a skill. A specific one, with rules. And most people, including the ones who swear they are recharging, are actually digging themselves deeper every single weekend. Stay to the end, because the last chapter is where the whole thing clicks into place. Before we get into the science, let us talk about what you can actually do today. This week, without a vacation or a weekend retreat or a complete life overhaul, because most people think rest only counts if it is a full week in Hawaii. It does not. Walk every day. Even 5 minutes outside lowers cortisol and slows your heart rate. Not a power walk, not a fitness goal, just moving through the outside world with no destination and no podcast in your ears. This puts your brain into what scientists call the wandering attention mode, where it stops actively solving problems and starts processing quietly in the background. This is actually when some of your best thinking happens. You just never give it the chance. Do something with your hands. Fine motor activity triggers relaxation. Lego, puzzles, cooking a real meal, gardening, even cleaning your apartment. When your hands are occupied with something tactile, your brain shifts away from mental rumination and into the present moment. Anxiety drops. The mental noise quiets down. See your friends, but do not talk about work. This will be harder than you think. But it matters. Make a rule at the table. First person to bring up work pays the bill. You will be surprised how much lighter everyone feels by the end of the night. Remember this. If you are drowning in routine and everything feels gray, you need new experiences. If you are overwhelmed with information and stimulation, you need routine. The prescription depends on the diagnosis. And one more thing. Stop feeling guilty for resting. That guilt is quietly destroying your recovery. Rest is not laziness. It is maintenance. You are not a machine designed to run indefinitely. Rest is part of the job. Now let us talk about what most people call rest and why it is not working. We are not going to ask how much you rest. The more important question is how. 47% of people spend their evenings watching TV or scrolling short videos. And look, it feels like rest. It is passive. It is easy. It requires nothing from you, except it does. This is Vitaly. After a long day, Vitaly collapses on the couch and scrolls through short videos for 2 hours. Relaxing, he thinks. But the next morning, he wakes up feeling just as wrecked as the night before. Because even passive content consumption keeps your brain actively working. Processing images, sounds, stories, emotional reactions, all of it. Your brain never actually powered down. So Vitaly tries a dopamine detox. He has read about it online. Cut out all fast pleasures, reset the brain, feel like a new person. For 3 days, he avoids his phone, social media, anything stimulating. By day 4, he is hiding in the bathroom at work to scroll Instagram. Like any extreme diet, the detox created a rebound. So Vitaly decides to try active rest instead. He signs up for a camping trip with a group of strangers, 50,000 steps a day, mosquitoes, canned food, and no cell service. This is definitely going to recharge him. It does not, because that was not rest. That was leisure. And here is a distinction most people never make. Leisure is emotionally rich, it is exciting, stimulating, memorable. A concert, a camping trip, a road trip to Nashville with your college friends. Leisure is the life of the party. Rest is the boring friend who makes sure you actually recover. One weekend, Vitaly misses his bus, takes the wrong one by accident, and ends up riding through the city for 2 hours with nothing to do and nowhere to be. No plan, no goal, no phone. He feels more rested than he has in months. That is the clue. Real rest is the relaxation of whatever was tense. That sounds obvious until you realize most people never actually identify what is tense. They just throw generic recovery at a specific problem and wonder why it does not work. There are 3 types of exhaustion, and they need 3 completely different solutions. Physical exhaustion, heavy muscles, constant yawning, You would fight someone on the subway for a seat. The cause is straightforward: physical work, poor sleep, bad nutrition. The solution is equally straightforward: eat, sleep, lie down. Let your body do what it knows how to do. Emotional exhaustion. Everything seems fine on paper, but you are constantly irritated. The notification sound bothers you. Someone's footsteps bother you. The sun is too bright, and somehow that is also annoying. This is your emotional battery at zero. It is most common in people who work with other people all day. Meetings, calls, negotiations, sales, team management. You have been regulating your emotions and managing other people's emotions for 8 straight hours. The recovery here is not more stimulation. It is a source of internal stability. That might look like 20 minutes completely alone. It might look like a conversation with one trusted person where you can be completely honest. Humor genuinely helps here. It switches the brain's mode and releases tension in a way that almost nothing else does. Intellectual exhaustion. This is the one that takes down the toughest people. Your brain is overheated. You make mistakes on simple tasks. You open a browser tab and immediately forget why. It feels like your brain has a no entry sign on both the way in and the way out. The problem is that your work already requires constant intellectual output, and then in the name of rest, you continue loading your brain with podcasts, news, long-form content, complex series with subtitles. That is like jumping on a broken leg to strengthen it. What actually helps is the wandering attention mode we mentioned earlier. And one of the most powerful activators of this state is water, a shower, swimming, even sitting near a fountain or a lake. Water reduces anxiety and activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the one responsible for actual recovery. The key is staying engaged with the external world rather than your own thoughts. A walk where your only goal is to photograph everything red. A drive with no destination. A shower with no phone waiting outside the door. For any rest to actually work, whether it is a Tuesday evening or a 2-week vacation, 3 conditions need to be in place. Pillar 1. The foundation: 8 hours of sleep and real food. Everything else comes after this. Not instead of it. After it. This is directed at everyone watching this at midnight with a bag of chips. Close the video. Go to sleep. Seriously. Pillar 2. Absence of novelty. New information is exhausting even when it does not feel like it. Your favorite comfort show that you have already seen 3 times. That is not a guilty pleasure. That is your nervous system asking for something it already knows how to process. There is actually a name for this: the old TV show syndrome. When you rewatch something familiar, your brain encounters no surprises, no new characters to track, no plot to follow, no emotional investment required. Just the gentle comfort of the known. Your psyche genuinely recovers in that space. A familiar coffee shop, your usual running route, a playlist you have had for 5 years, routine is not boring, it is restorative. Pillar 3. Absence of responsibility. This one is underestimated. Imagine this. You and 4 friends decide to do a weekend road trip to Austin. For some reason, you are the one who has to book the hotels, find the restaurants, plan the route, figure out the drive-through order, and make sure nobody misses the departure time. And at the end, someone says the hotel beds were too firm. Was that rest? Organizing and managing is work. Even when it happens on a Saturday. Even when it is for fun. The brain does not know the difference between coordinating a product launch and coordinating a group dinner. It registers responsibility either way. Real rest begins when you can sit on the bank of a river in Colorado and do absolutely nothing. Without managing, without planning, without being accountable for anyone else's experience. Vitaly finally takes a real vacation. He packs 1 bag. Books a cabin outside of Asheville, North Carolina. Mountains, no itinerary, no group chat to manage. He sleeps 8 hours, eats actual food, takes long walks with no destination and no podcast. Sits by a creek and watches the water for 20 minutes without checking his phone once. He does not hike 14 peaks. He does not visit every recommended restaurant. He does not document any of it. He comes back and everyone notices something different about him. Not that he looks rested, though he does. That he seems calm, unhurried. Like someone who has been reminded that the world does not actually require his constant management to keep turning. That is what rest actually does. not just recharge you for more productivity, remind you who you are when you're not performing. So, rest, not scrolling, not a dopamine detox, not a camping trip that leaves you more exhausted than when you left. 3 types of exhaustion: physical, emotional, intellectual, each requiring a different solution. 3 pillars: sleep and food, absence of novelty, absence of responsibility. And the guilt you feel for doing nothing? That is not a conscience. That is a conditioning. Let it go. You are not a router. You are not supposed to run continuously without interruption. Rest is not the reward at the end of hard work. It is the thing that makes the hard work possible.